Well, CTE is a disease much like Alzheimer's disease. It slowly degenerates your brain. It's caused by repetitive brain injury. It sometimes spread down the spinal cord. And I don't know if you're learning about this in health class, but your spinal cord is where all your nerves kind of like sprout from. So if it goes down to your spinal cord, that's not a good sign of life.
Who discovered CTE? CTE was discovered in 1968 by a Nigerian-American physician named Bennett Amali. After careful examination of the brain, he found clumps of tau protein. This was a key sign of the degenerative disease he later named CTE.
So tau proteins, they kind of go like around some. It goes around some important parts of your brain, and like it can kind of slow down your brain.
How can you get it? The only way to get CTE is by having a serious or multiple series of head injuries. It is common in most physical sports, especially football.
So I know a lot of you probably play. It's football, boxing, soccer, hockey, any sport that you can really get hurt in. And soccer is kind of brand new, just because a lot of people use their head in soccer, and it can damage the front of your head, and then you can get this disease. Alright, this is going to be a mouthful. Alright, so symptoms of CTE. Before I start, these can vary. It's not like, if you get brain injuries in the back of your head all the time, then you're not going to have the same thing as if someone gets like a severe one in the front of their head. So you wouldn't get all of these, but you would probably get like a combination of them. Tumors, paranoid confusion, which is just being confused, aggression, depression, memory loss, speaking issues, impaired judgment. Impaired judgment would be like you can't tell right from wrong. Progressive dementia, cognitive impairment, impulse control issues. So like you kind of you react too quickly. You don't really think it over. Disorientation, feeling lost, like you don't belong. Loss of hearing, sight, or other senses, and struggling with concentration and attention. So like if you're writing a paper, you would always be distracted. You couldn't think straight.
4 stages of CTE. Stage 1 and 2. There are 4 stages of CTE. The stages get more severe as they go on. Here are the 4 stages. Stage 1. Early on, symptoms include headaches as well as loss of attention and concentration. So not too severe in stage 1. Stage 2. In stage 2, common symptoms are having mood swings and depression. In stage 2, suicidal thoughts are possible. Stage 3. Executive dysfunction, memory loss, explosivity, and difficulty with attention and concentration begin when you reach stage 3. 75% of people in stage 3 were cognitively impaired. Suicidal thoughts are also common in this.
So this is a lot of like mood swings. You can be like really happy at one point, and then all of a sudden you get like really angry. So and that explosivity kind of like runs into that.
This is where CTE comes. Stage 3 is where CTE kind of gets important. Stage 4. This is the most severe stage of CTE. Patients at this stage suffer from executive dysfunction and memory loss initially, and then develop severe memory loss with dementia. 31% of all subjects were suicidal at some point.
Mike Webster. Mike Webster. A very well-known subject of CTE is Mike Webster. He was a former football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he played center. He was born on March 18, 1952, and he died on September 24, 2002, at age 50. Webster was the first NFL player diagnosed with CTE. He died of a heart attack, not suicide. Mike Webster helped pave the path for doctors to start learning about CTE.
Yeah. So before this, it was kind of CTE was only in boxes. People realized that it was in boxes, but they didn't really know how it worked. And then Mike Webster was one of the first cases in football where this started to happen, and then that kind of sprouted to hockey, which sprouted into soccer, and it kind of paved for more sports and not just boxing. So here's Ann McKee to give a recap of CTE. This is not Mrs.
No relation.
Yes, but this is one of the leading scientists
Danny.
in CTE.
You can't show this.
So Dr. McKee has diagnosed a lot of cases of CTE, and it's in ice hockey, soccer, college football, high school football, MMA, baseball, as well as first cases in military situations. So it's not a good thing. Have a nice Thanksgiving. Does anybody have any questions? Okay.
Comes to us from Boston University.
Did it come from any other sport from randomly?
Yeah.
Like what sports?
Like maybe like some sport, like somewhere else, like
I mean,
skiing, maybe.
so if you have a concussion,
You can get it from any type of sport, anything, skiing. If you trip and fall, hit your head.
yeah,
you
anything
could
that
get it.
if you have any like head trauma, like anything happens to your head in any sport. So technically, yes, but those sports that they showed there that have like the more and more cases.
It's
Like
most
skiing,
common.
yeah, skiing doesn't really have a lot because usually when you wipe out, you don't hit your head. But you could potentially get it from skiing just by hitting your head a lot.
How about basketball?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, anything that you can really hit your head with, you can get this. It's not limited to those sports.
Is CTE basically a disorder?
I guess, but it won't start young. It's not really a disorder. It's more like a disease. Like it won't be like when you're born or
It depends. It's not a disorder, but it depends where you get it. If you get it where it controls your legs, that part of the brain, you might not be able to walk.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, it could affect any part of your body. It's just not your brain. But
Like this-
you could. It's mostly feelings that it'll make you think weird and you won't feel the same.
Is there a cure for CTE?
No.
you can't diagnose somebody without them being dead.
So you could technically diagnose, but you can't be sure they have it until they're dead. Yes.
Any more questions?
So thank you all for having us, and I hope you guys all have a nice Thanksgiving.